Hi, we are back for our fifth and final segment here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our first mock draft of the MLB draft season. Tonight was the NBA mock. Tonight is going to be the NBA mock draft. I'm not sure if that will be on by the time I'm uploading this, but is very exciting. I always love the drafts for MLB, NHL, NFL, NBA. I love the draft, and I wanted to give some thoughts on the MLB draft. It's been a few weeks since I have. Also, with the College World Series ending, congrats to the Tennessee Volunteers. I wanted to just talk a little bit more about college baseball and the MLB draft in general. I'm going to go for my for top 10 picks. And these pictures aren't exactly in order, so if I have to look around for a picture to find the player, I apologize. But yeah, so the first off, we're going to be starting off with a shocker here, and I understand that. And that is first overall pick for the Cleveland Guardians select Chase Burns, right-handed pitcher, Wake Forest. Now, Burns is not someone I had going first overall at any time in this draft process, but more and more as we get closer to the draft, I've heard Chase Burns' name connected more to the Guardians, and it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. What we've heard is the Guardians would like to go under slot and get a player that won't cost as much as they would for a first overall pick. I disagree with the decision, but it's not mine to make. And Burns has been connected to them for a few reasons. One, when you're in the Guardian position right now and you have the first overall pick and you're the best team in the American League, you can pick for a position. And the Guardians right now need a young starting pitcher. And a guy like Chase Burns will be able to come up next year, maybe even this year, and be a relief arm and make a significant impact on your team. I think Burns makes a lot of sense in that regard. Is a perfect fit with them. And yeah, overall, as much as it is a shocker, as much as I did not expect this to happen, I do have Burns going first overall for the Cleveland Guardians. And yeah, I mean, it'll be a very exciting future rotation with him, Tristan McKenzie, Gavin Williams, Tanner Bybee, when everyone gets healthy. So should be very exciting to watch for a Guardians fan. And yeah, I do end up having Chase Burns here going first overall to the Cleveland Guardians. Not something I expected, but there we go. All right, so at second overall, for the second overall pick, I have the Cincinnati Reds selecting Charlie Condon, third baseman outfielder from Georgia. If Condon falls to the Reds, I'm sure they'd be absolutely ecstatic. I had Condon going first overall a good amount of times here for my mock drafts, and yeah, I still think he's the best player in the draft. Has insane power hitting potential, and would be a perfect fit in this Reds young core. Can come up by next year and fit in perfectly with the guys like Ellie De La Cruz, Christian Encarnacion Strand, Matt McLean, Spencer Steer. Be a very exciting player for the Reds to pick. Not sure if he's going to be playing outfield or third base in the future, but overall, Condon is a fantastic prospect. Has some insane power hitting potential. Is an amazing player, and yeah, overall is just a lot of potential for the future and for this Reds team, and I think will be a fantastic pick. Next, for the third overall pick in this draft, I have the Colorado Rockies selecting Travis Bazanza, second baseman, Oregon State. Now, Bazanza was the guy I also had going top two for most of this prospect in the draft, but I did have him falling now, while I did have Burns going first overall under slot to Cleveland. Now, Bazanza is still an amazing player, younger as well, going into college from Australia. Is an amazing, nice hitting lefty bat, and yeah, overall is just a very talented player. I'm sure the Rocks would be ecstatic if a player of Bazanza's caliber did fall to them here at number 3. I think they would be just again ecstatic, and for a Rockies team trying to rebuild the core, trying to rebuild their future, having a guy like Bazanza fall to them and go into their organization would be absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure they have to be thrilled if this would happen. So yeah, next for the fourth overall pick, I have the Oakland Athletics selecting Jack Caglione, first baseman, left-handed pitcher from Florida. Now, Caglione is a guy we've had on our radars for a long time since Jeff Passan published an article about him being the American Ohtani. That might have been a little overblown, but I still love Cags as a prospect. Of course, was on that amazing Florida team this year. Cags is amazing and has some amazing lefty power potential. I think can be a 40 home run bat for a team at first base. And with this A's team that is looking to start themselves anew in Sacramento and Las Vegas, getting a guy as marketable as Cags is going to be very exciting for them, and he's overall a really fantastic player and someone I am definitely watching for the future. I don't really think he's much of a pitcher in the major leagues, but at the same time, I think he has the potential to end up being a 40 home run bat at first base. Someone I really think has a ton of potential here, and for an A's team again trying to restart themselves, having a player of this caliber, as young as him, being at the forefront of that would be very, very exciting. So for the 5th overall pick, I have the Chicago White Sox taking, not him, there we go, Nick Kurtz, first baseman, Wake Forest. Let me get that picture up. All right, I gotta find it. But yeah, Nick Kurtz is a player I am very, very high on. I think is pretty fantastic, and overall is just someone I am very high on. I think he's a really good lefty power hitting first baseman, and I think has a ton of potential here in the major leagues. That is not him. I want to make that clear. But I think overall Nick Kurtz is just a fantastic, fantastic player, and is someone that I think has a ton of potential for the major leagues with this White Sox team that is trying to get their young core in shape. Drafting a guy like Kurtz, who's very athletic at that first base position, can be a big, big power bat, would be very exciting, and a great way to start your franchise back up. I think, again, Kurtz is a fantastic, fantastic player, and is someone that is going to be a future star in this league, and I think the White Sox would be thrilled to have him fall here to number 5. So we'll be going into, next we have 6th overall, the Kansas City Royals select Hagen Smith, left-handed pitcher from Arkansas. Now, Smith and Burns were really in the contention for 1 and 2 pitcher. I think a lot of people have Burns going first, a lot of people have Hagen Smith going first, but I only have Burns going first because of the circumstances the Guardians found themselves in. But I still think Hagen Smith is really fantastic, has a great combination of pitches as a starting pitcher. It's a very imposing presence, being tall, big lefty windup, and I think has a ton of potential for the future as a star pitcher. And to end up being a really, really fantastic player for the future for this Royals team that needs young pitching. Already has a fantastic amount, but needs just some more depth in the minor leagues overall. I think Smith would be a fantastic addition. Could be up potentially by the end of next year, or maybe even by the middle of next year. And I think overall is a fantastic, fantastic player, and can end up being a future star for this Royals organization. Next, for the 7th overall pick, I have the St. Louis Cardinals selecting J.J. Weatherholt, infielder from West Virginia. Weatherholt is a guy that really does have to figure out his position in the major leagues in the future, but is so athletic that he can really play all over the diamond. Has a nice lefty swing, and I think overall just is a fantastic player. Would add to this Cardinals young hitting core that even though it has underperformed a little bit, I think adding Weatherholt could be a really, really nice addition, and would overall become a really, really great player for this team. Has shown a lot in West Virginia, and overall is a very, very exciting player, and has a lot of potential. So, if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'd be very excited about this pick. I think he is falling a little bit. I think 7 might be a little lower than you'd expect to go, but fantastic, fantastic player, great athlete, and once he figures out whether he plays second, short, or third, will be a great addition for this Cardinals team. 8th overall pick, I'm going to have the Los Angeles Angels selecting. Here we go. Connor Griffin, shortstop from Mississippi High School. Now, the first high school player we have going in this mock draft, I think Connor Griffin shows a lot of potential in the future. And with this Angels team that is in a deep, deep rebuild, I think it would make a lot of sense to take one of these high school players. Griffin can play both shortstop and outfield, and is very athletic, obviously, so we'll be interested in determining what position he does play at in the future. So, obviously has a great arm there in both shortstop and the outfield, has a ton of power, can run really well, can field really well. So, has a really good power speed fielding combination, and still has a ton of potential to be able to live up to in the future. Is still only 18. Be a player that develops for a long, long time in this Angels organization, and I think overall is going to be someone fantastic to end up. And will be someone fantastic to follow if you're an Angels fan for the future. So, next here at 9th overall, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates selecting Braden Montgomery, outfielder from Texas A&M. Montgomery is a really fantastic outfielder. I'm not exactly as high on him as some other people, but still has a lot of talent. He's a switching bat. He has really good power, above average hitting, can run really well, has a great arm, can field really well. Is a really good outfield prospect for this Pirates team that I think would really add into their young core of players. And finally, at 10th overall, I have the Washington Nationals selecting James Tibbs, outfielder from Florida State. Tibbs, a player I am very high on. I love his potential. I think there's a ton of talent here. I do have him going a little bit higher than most people, but I think he's going to rise when it comes to draft day. Nice lefty swing. Is more of a contact hitter than a power hitter, but still is an overall great hitter, and I think is really just fantastic. And overall is someone I'm very excited to watch for the future, and I think overall has a lot of potential and would add into this young nationals core of younger players. And yeah, so I think Tibbs would be a great pick here, and a great pick for this nationals team. So, going over the mock draft again, I have the Cleveland Guardians taking first overall, Chase Burns, right-handed pitcher from Wake Forest. Second overall, the Reds taking Charlie Condon, third base outfielder from Georgia. Third overall, from the Colorado Rockies, selecting Travis Bazanza, second baseman from Oregon State. Fourth overall, the Oakland Athletics taking Jack Liglione, first baseman, left-handed pitcher from Florida. Fifth overall, the Chicago White Sox selecting Nick Kurtz, first baseman from Wake Forest. Sixth overall, the Kansas City Royals selecting Hagen Smith, left-handed pitcher, Arkansas. Seventh overall, the St. Louis Cardinals selecting J.J. Weatherholt, infielder from West Virginia. Eighth overall, the Los Angeles Angels selecting Connor Griffin, shortstop outfielder from Mississippi. Ninth overall, Pittsburgh Pirates selecting Brady Montgomery, outfielder, Texas A&M. And 10th overall, the Nationals selecting James Tibbs, outfielder from Florida State. So yeah, that is it for the show today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. So not only get notified when I upload, when all the other great content creators on this channel do. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, and bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to